How's it going? Welcome back to the shows. This is You Made Roscoe, and
Savage Moses, what it do, Roscoe?
what's going on, brother, man? It looked like we got another, uh, a set of actually a follow up to a video that we've done already.
But this kind of be like the final update of everything and basically the conclusion of, the situation and how things was going about.
right, right. No, I like the way you put that. Yeah, so no, that's exactly what Savage said is exactly what it is. Before we get into this, well, the title of the video, first of all, is Missing Titanic Occupants Dead, Pieces of Vessel Found, Coast Guard. So we'll be checking this out. Before we do that, I do want to ask for anybody who hasn't, please subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure you hit the notification bell on each page. We do so appreciate everybody who does. So we're going to go ahead and dive into this. Me and Savage, like I said, we did the one video already where we basically got to see how, how prepared the people who were a part of this journey and who lost their lives in this, everything that they had, they were equipped with once they went down. And now, like Savage said, we're doing the follow up. So you ready to dive in, bro?
Yeah. We're basically saying the pregame. Now we're saying after results kind of.
Yeah, no, all right. Well, let's get it.
Submersible. He will provide a brief statement and provide the opportunity for questions after. Please limit your questions to one per outlet. Following the briefing, the Joint Information Center staff and I will be here to help you with any of your further needs. May I now please introduce Rear Admiral John Mauger.
This morning, an ROV, or remote operated vehicle, from the vessel Horizon Arctic discovered the tail cone of the Titan submersible approximately 1,600 feet from the bow of the Titanic on the seafloor. The ROV subsequently found additional debris. In consultation with experts from within the Unified Command, the debris is consistent with the catastrophic loss of the pressure chamber. Upon this determination, we immediately notified the families. On behalf of the United States Coast Guard and the entire Unified Command, I offer my deepest condolences to the families. I can only imagine what this has been like for them, and I hope that this discovery provides some solace during this difficult time. Additionally, we've been in close contact with the British and French Consuls General to ensure that they are fully apprised and that their concerns are being addressed. The outpouring of support in this highly complex search operation has been robust and immensely appreciated. We are grateful for the rapid mobilization of experts on the undersea search and rescue, and we thank all of the agencies and personnel for their role in the response. We're also incredibly grateful for the full spectrum of international assistance that's been provided. The ROVs will remain on scene and continue to gather information. Again, our most heartfelt condolences go out to the loved ones of the crew.
Working out has done a lot for my mental health. I got more energy, and I don't get into a.
We'll now take questions.
Rear Admiral, can you talk about the delay in reporting the vessel missing and what impact that had on the recovery?
This was a incredibly complex case, and we're still working to develop the details for the timeline involved with this casualty and the response. And so we'll provide that
About the
information.
recovery of the body. James Matthews from Sky News. John, what other debris have you found? And have you found any trace of those who were?
So this is an incredibly complex operating environment on the seafloor, over 2 miles beneath the surface. And so the remote operating vehicle has been searching, and it is highly capable. And we've been able to classify parts of the pressure chamber for the Titan submersible. Let me refer to one of my undersea experts here, Mr. Paul Hankin, to talk about the nature of some of the debris.
Thank you, Admiral. So essentially, we found 5 different major pieces of debris that told us that it was the remains of the Titan. The initial thing we found was the nose cone, which was outside of the pressure hull. We then found a large debris field. Within that large debris field, we found the front end bell of the pressure hull. That was the first indication that there was a catastrophic event. Shortly thereafter, we found a second smaller debris field. Within that debris field, we found the other end of the pressure hull, the aft end bell, which was basically comprised of the totality of that pressure vessel. We continue to map the debris field, and as the Admiral said, we will do the best we can to fully map out what's down there.
Thanks, Paul.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
It's a very difficult question to ask, but it will be an important one for the families, of course. What are the prospects of recovering the bodies of the missing?
So the questions was related. I'm restating the question from the standpoint of sometimes it's hard to hear the question here. What are the prospects for recovering crew members? And so this is a incredibly unforgiving environment down there on the seafloor, and the debris is consistent with a catastrophic implosion of the vessel. And so we'll continue to work and continue to search the area down there, but I don't have an answer for prospects at this time.
Admiral, it's Tom Costello at NBC News. Is there any suggestion, any suggestion at all that the sub itself collided with the wreckage of Titanic, or that instead it might have imploded above the wreckage and then rained down nearby?
So the question was, is there any question as to whether or not the sub collided with the Titanic or whether it imploded above and debris field created from that? So the location of the Titan submersible was in an area that was approximately 1,600 feet from the wreck of the Titanic. I have an expert here that is familiar with that area and can talk about the debris field and what the debris field indicates in terms of where the casualty may have occurred.
Rear Admiral, really quickly, can you tell me when that massive fleet will be called back?
The expert voice is coming up to answer the question.
Thank you, Admiral. So the question is, where does the wreck lie in relation to the Titanic? I didn't hear the Admiral's answer. I think 1,600 feet. Was that correct, Admiral?
Yep, you got it.
So
Let me stop this for a second. I'm gonna push it back just a little bit so we don't miss this next guy and what he has to say at all. But
Yeah.
anything you wanna add in there before we continue, brother?
Yeah, before he got into it, I had a question of, oh man, I'm trying to process, because we basically seeing the whole breakdown the sub beforehand kind of helps when they're explaining this. So if y'all didn't see our part 1 video, please go see that, check it out. Come back to this one. It'll make a lot more sense when you know listening to them, and it'll process better.
Yeah.
But as far as the sub in this event was probably, I mean, they describing it as a drastic, never should have happened, because and I'm just thinking about the video, like the promo video that they was basically showing to tourists, I guess, to make them want to invest in this. They kind of made it seem like that this was a normal thing. They experts been going back and forth from the Titanic, you know, for years now, right?
Yeah, no, they definitely painted that picture, if you will, that that this was a little safer than it was, you know, beforehand when they were shown whatever videos, you know, that I guess that gave them, you know, the encouragement to believe that this was going to be safe enough to do. But when you hear these people now talking about how, you know, this thing imploded and all this stuff, and like Savage said, it makes so much more sense to us when we look at the first video and we see, you know, how strong or not so strong, you know, the whole foundation of the sub may have been, you know, and everything, and just the whole layout of it, and it just didn't seem like something that was prepared to take on, you know, what they would eventually endure down at the bottom and then meet their end. You know,
do you think now versus before that they kind of downplaying the dangers of this project still?
Yeah, no, well, the professionals that they know better. When you listen to like you know, the naval officers and the Coast Guard and all of that, like they understand what's happening down there. You know, he said when the one admiral right here, when he said or talked about the unforgiving nature of that atmosphere, you know. So
and when they instantly found the pieces of the pressure chamber, they just called the families right away, and it was a certain language that he said, yeah, I agree.
No. So and like you said, to call him right away, he know that, dude, if we already finding these pieces,
they pretty much they done this enough to they know kind of what happened, sort of say.
Right.
But so, I had another question as far as those devices that they said, I don't know, the remote control device or whatever that's basically at the bottom detecting these components of the ship or whatever. Do you think if they had like something down there like that in the water beforehand, they went down there, would that have been a better idea for this situation, or would have helped maybe if it was a possibility to you know, rescue some of these people?
Well,
because if you doing something this dangerous, I'm just thinking, why not already have stuff like that in place, not use it beforehand when we need to find them, like already have that there just in case.
No, but see this the thing, and I get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying, to have something like that in place so we be able to save these people. But here's the catch to all of this. Like they're not expecting people who are not part of some government funded, you know, not part of the Coast Guard, some Navy or something like that, to even be trying anything like this. So why even have this stuff down there and spend taxpayers' money to have this stuff in place when this ain't even supposed to be a thing people doing anyway. Like you ain't even supposed to do that. So, you know, so
So that brings up another thing, because it was being done. Somebody should be accountable. Like we gotta be. It should be a communication that this is even being attempted.
Yeah, no, I mean this falls back on if and I hate to play the blame game at this point in time, you know, but I would look at, you know, whatever people that they were dealing with, who were showing them the videos and giving them the information to make them believe that this was a safe trip. You know? So that's who I will be looking at. But other than that, I don't, you know, we've already lost these people at this point.
It's just wild that nothing can be done because of specifically everybody signed a contract before going on here. But this, when we get the information knowing that the owner of the company, you know, really didn't go out his way to get this stuff tested, and they said went far as to firing people to get other people in just to get this, you know, operation on the road and stuff. It's just like, man, the power of money sometimes it just brings the disasters.
Yeah, no, it ends up making you take some risks that you probably couldn't be taking. But we're gonna go ahead and restart this video again so we can get through this. But let's do it.
Kurt.
Rear Admiral, really quickly, can you tell me when that massive fleet will be called back?
The expert voice is coming up to answer the question.
Thank you, Admiral. So the question is, where does the wreck lie in relation to the Titanic? I didn't hear the Admiral's answer. I think 1,600 feet. Was that correct, Admiral?
Yep, you got it.
So that's off the bow of Titanic. It's in an area where there is not any debris of Titanic. It is a smooth bottom. To my knowledge and anything I've seen, there's no Titanic wreckage in that area. And again, 200 plus meters from the bow, and consistent with the location of last communication for an implosion in the water column. And the size of the debris field is consistent with that implosion in the water column.
Thanks.
What would cause the implosion in terms of the timing here? You say that this was a catastrophic implosion, and I know it's early on, but is it your estimation that this happened right at the moment when they lost contact, an hour and 45 minutes after the descent?
So the question was about the timing of the catastrophic implosion. Right now, it is too early to tell with that. We know that as we've been prosecuting the search over the course of the last 72 hours and beyond, that we've had sonar buoys in the water nearly continuously and have not detected any catastrophic events when those sonar buoys have been in the water. So,
can you describe what happens from here, sir, in the next days and weeks in terms of finding any more debris? What happens from here?
So we will. The question was, what happens from here? What's the next phase? And so right now, again, our thoughts are with the families and making sure that they have an understanding as best as we can provide of what happened and begin to find some closure. In terms of the large process, we're going to continue to investigate the site of the debris field. And then I know that there's also a lot of questions about how, why, and when did this happen. And so, you know, those are questions that we will collect as much information as we can on now, while the governments are meeting and discussing, you know, what an investigation of this nature of a casualty might look like. This is something that happened. I'll just remind everybody. This is something that happened in a remote portion of the ocean with people from several different countries around the world. And so it is a complex case to work through, but I'm confident that those questions will begin to get answered.
Is there any suggestion that time factors, speed, anything could have prevented this or saved 5 people on board, or is this quite simply a catastrophic accident?
The question was there any suggestion that time factors may have played a role or consideration in the casualty here? And so the debris field is consistent with a catastrophic implosion of the vessel. Again, while we were prosecuting the search, we had listening devices in the water throughout and did not hear any signs of catastrophic failure from those. And so we're going to continue to investigate, or we're going to continue to document the information there and understand, based on all the information we have, the timeline.
Yeah, I just want to stop it for. This will be the last time, actually.
That's kind of weird.
No, it is. You probably were stuck in the same place that I am, as far as the fact that they know that there was an implosion, but there was and
they did have sound devices.
Yeah, well, he said normally they would have the sonic buoys down there to be able to detect something like this. I'm not sure if that was the case.
I think he said they did.
Okay. It made
he said they didn't detect nothing on the devices.
Yeah, right. He did say that. He did say that. So
and that's where it got weird for me. So, but he said they sure that that happened.
No, they found the pieces. So yeah, no, it definitely happened. But to not get any detection of the actual
the catastrophic explosion, that's weird.
No, it is. We only got so much time left, so we're gonna go ahead and let the rest of this play and then give whatever assessments. So let's go.
To document the information there and understand, based on all the information we have, the timeline.
And you were listening to a news conference there with Rear Admiral John Mauger with the U.S. Coast Guard, confirming that those 5 people on that submersible have perished, saying that it was, quote, a catastrophic implosion. Also mentioning that the why, how, when did all of this happen is still unclear, but wanted to make sure the families of those 5 people you see on your screen right there were notified before they held this news conference. I want to go to Roxana Saberi, who is in Boston, has been there for several days covering this. A lot of people hoping for a miracle, but obviously as the hours went on, knowing about the supply of oxygen that they had and the fact that this was not a submersible that had been approved or certified by any regulatory body, many people had feared the worst. Roxana?
Yeah, Jerika, as you mentioned, we just heard from the Coast Guard here in Boston. The Coast Guard has been overseeing and leading the search efforts, and Rear Admiral Mauger did say that a remote-operated vehicle that was deployed by the Canadian commercial vessel Horizon Arctic had found some debris about 1,600 feet from the bow of the Titanic on the sea floor, and he confirmed that this was consistent with the loss of the pressure chamber. He said it shows the catastrophic implosion of the Titan submersible that has been missing since Sunday morning. As you said, people have been holding on to hope that perhaps the 5 passengers on board were still alive. We had heard reports of banging noises that were emitted every 30 minutes on Tuesday and Wednesday, but we had not heard any updates on that since Wednesday. So people were hoping that perhaps the passengers had survived, but now we are hearing that There were 5 pieces of debris that were found, and they were all belonging, they said, to the Titan submersible. So they are still investigating, trying to determine the timeline and what exactly happened. But again, they said everything points to a catastrophic implosion of the vessel. Tarika?
That's right. And those remote operated vehicles will remain on scene. I want to turn now to CBS News Sunday morning correspondent David Pogue. He joins us now. David, you went on board the Titan last year for a story about the sub and interviewed the CEO of OceanGate. Can you tell us your reaction to all of this? I mean, you were on this. I know you didn't get that far into it, but what an experience and a tragic ending.
It's a complicated brew of emotions. I haven't completely processed the fact that Stockton Rush, the CEO, the designer of the sub, the pilot of the sub, is gone. I spent 9 intense days with him last year on the Horizon Arctic, the very ship that has just discovered the wreckage. And P.H. Nargeolet, one of the most dived Titanic experts in the world, these were amazing guys. These were adventurers. You know, these are not like me, or possibly you. They thrive on risk and danger and exploration. And it's hard to think that they're just gone like that.
Yeah, we'll have much more, of course, later on. David Pogue, we thank you so much for your.
All right. So let me like this. But that, ladies and gentlemen, was missing Titanic sub, occupants dead, pieces of vessel found, Coast Guard announces, and Savage, what's your thoughts on this, bro?
Yeah, man. Final thoughts. I just want to clean up something I kind of said, because I didn't know, everybody that was on it. I just knew the one guy that actually gave us the tour of the vessel in the previous video. But when I said the owner and the CEO should take a little responsibility, I didn't know that he was actually a passenger as well. So that kind of explains some of his actions on wanting to push this and get it going as fast and without taking some of the extra precautions that were suggested.
Yeah, and everything that the reporter said at the end too, about these people specifically are people who look to do dangerous type of stuff, and there's a lot of people like that in the world who climb Mount Everest, or they do a lot of dangerous stuff out here, so we know we have these people, but still a tragedy, to know. Me, I would think that something like this, being that deep under the sea, and a tube that they were bolted into, would have to be one of the worst ways to probably go. So that's why this is really heartfelt to me. Like I hate to hear anybody not being here, but to die so tragically, it's like, it's really blowing me to the center right now, but anything else you want to add in there, bro?
Nah, that's pretty much it. This video for me on my page will be in must-see videos or the homepage. So
yeah, and this will be in shocking videos on my page. The Cash App information is on the screen. I'm actually so taken by this, because I don't want people to think that this is like a cash grab for us. We're just regular people, just like you guys, who are interested in this story, intrigued by this story and all that. But like I said, any is down there on the screen. Me and Savage, we gonna get going. Anything you want to say before we dip, bro?
Nah, you hit it on the head perfectly. All the people that forgot, if you want to show some support, still hit that like button and subscribe, and we'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.
All right, y'all be safe and y'all be good.